Hello, hello. Good to see you here. I'm Ellie with English Fun Zone, and today we're going to be looking at another grammar book. And I have some exciting news that I will tell you at the end of this session. So stay until the end. um, I'm, I, I posted uh, an announcement on the community tab to let you know about this live stream. It's a different day. I was supposed to do it last week, but I went on vacation, and I apologize for not telling you that I was going on vacation. It was sort of something I did on the spur of the moment, right? So it was sudden. It wasn't expected. It wasn't something that I had planned on doing. It just sort of happened. Um, Today, like I said, we're going to be looking at a grammar book. And what we've been doing is looking at grammar books that I have, that I've used. This is the last grammar book in my library. Um, so we're going to talk about it, and we're going to take a look at one topic on adverbs. Now, I've done videos on adverbs, and you can check those out in the description box below. I've posted them already, so they're there for you to take a look at. I have to do one more thing. In case you have questions, I want to make sure that I have my other screen on, and if you have questions, you can post them in the chat box below, and I'm happy to help you. That's what I'm here for. I'm your English teacher, and I'm here to help you with your English. So don't be afraid to ask. Now's the time to ask. Okay. And I see. Great. That'll work. You know, when you post something, or when you log in, it always asks you, do you want to update? Do you want to just no? Okay. All right. So if you have any questions, just let me know, uh, and I'm happy to answer those for you. Okay. Okay. So you'll see the screen in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Okay. So the book is called The Online English Grammar. Now, this book is in a PDF format, but there is an online grammar book as well. Now, I am not affiliated with this book whatsoever, or the person that wrote this book. I don't know this person. I'm not making any money off of this, but I want to give you choices. Some of you are looking for a grammar book. Some of you are deciding which one to buy. And I'm not promoting this one, but I'm showing you what books I've used in the past. And this is one of them that I've used. And out of all of the books that I have, this one is very simple and direct. Even though there aren't a lot of like exercises and things for you to practice, it does give you a quick reference as to what the grammar point is, how to use it, and let's take a look at it. Okay. So as you can see, we have an alphabet on the top there. So this helps you to jump to a topic that you're looking for, because it's grouped into different grammar points. So, for example, we have main subject. This is all about main subject. So if you want to know more about main subjects, these are the things that we could look at. Now, If you want to look at, let's say, verbs, you click on V and you look for verbs. Look at adverbs, verbs, verb tenses. So this is great if you know what you're looking for, right? If you know what you're looking for. Uh, it's a nice way to present the information. Today we're going to be looking at adverbs. So we click on A and we look for adverbs. Here's adjectives and adverbs. Okay, so we have adverbs and ing form and passive, right? And then we go to the B's. So these are all of the topics that you can find with the A section. So it's not this book is meant for students looking for a quick answer to different grammar points. So that's what I use it for. What I used it for. I don't use it anymore. As you know, I'm not a big fan of grammar books, but I used this to help students with a quick answer. Okay. I'm looking to see if we have any questions. Anybody there to say hello to? There we go. Okay. Adverbs. Now we have a lot of different categories, right? Comparative, manner, and there are different types of adverbs. And so it's not a simple subject. I've covered each of these points in my videos, but let's take a look at pick one, right? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Let's do interrogative. I I think the hardest thing for students to do is ask questions because teachers will ask the questions and the student will answer. And rarely do I hear it the other way around. And I always tell my students, ask me, to try to get them in the habit of asking questions as well as answering questions. And I've said before, why means reason, why something's happening, where is place, how is how you do something or how you're doing or how to make something. How is more of how is something, right? How are you? How do you make a carrot cake? And we also have how much, right? Quantity. How much is something? How many do you have, right? Countable. So how much is your non-countable and how many is your countable if you want to count something. And when is time? Time. So as you can see, it gives you some examples and then it gives you more examples and example sentences. And I think this is helpful, again, if you're looking for a quick example or a quick answer. All right, so we have, how did you make this sauce? Now, I don't know what country you're in if you have sauces, right? Like we have spaghetti sauce and we have Alfredo sauce and we have a cheese sauce. So you could ask, how did you make this sauce? How do you start the car? That's kind of a silly question. How do you start the car? But nowadays, a lot of cars are automatic, right? You can push a button or push a key fob, little thing on your key ring. So you might ask, how do you start the car? I when I was learning how to drive, you put the key in, you turned it on, you turn the ignition key. How tall are you? Right? Use how tall. How old is your house? How old is your house? Again, you might say, how old is your dog? You see my dog? How old is your dog? You can ask how old something is. I want to get back to uh, how tall, uh, how high is kind of confusing for some. Like, how high is that building? No, how tall is that building? You're talking about the height, you're saying how tall. You wouldn't say, how high are you? Because that would mean something completely different, right? If you want to know how tall someone is, you would say, how tall are you? If you say, how high are you? Well, that means you've done some sort of drug, illegal drug like marijuana. So if you say how high, it can mean that, but it can also mean like distance, like how high can you jump? Right? How high can you jump? Can you jump this high? Can you jump this high? How high can you jump? I wouldn't say how tall can you jump. Do you see the difference? Okay, so when you're talking about a height of something, we would say tall. If you want to say a distance, like how high can you jump? Mhm. Now, we also use it, how high is like, we wouldn't say how tall is that mountain. We would say how high is that mountain? Because mountains are mountains. it's 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 not going to grow, it's not going to change, it's geographical, right? It's not a person. So, and when you're in a plane, you would say, how high up are you, right? Because you're talking about the how the distance between you and the ground. And I think that's the way it goes with mountains. It's top of the mountain, the bottom of the mountain, top of the mountain, and the bottom of the mountain. So how high is the mountain? How high up are you in the airplane? How high up are we? So I hope that clarifies it. If not, let me know. It's kind of funny because when I think of English, um, trying to explain things like that, I think, how is the best way I can explain it that's not confusing? So I hope I explained that well. Okay, how much, how many? Again, how much are these tomatoes? We're talking about cost. How much? We wouldn't say how much cost is it, because how much is the cost, right? How much are the tickets? How much are those shoes? Right? So we wouldn't say how much cost. How many is quantity, right? That's countable. How many people are coming to the party? So if you want a number that you can count, you would say, how many apples do you need? How many uh, dogs do you have, right? So if you can count it, how many? If you can't, like coffee, how much coffee do you want? Right? I want a bag of coffee. Now, with how quickly can you read this? How quickly can you do something? Remember, how is like, how can you do something? How do you feel? So this is how can you, or how quickly can you do something? How quickly can you read this? Are you a fast reader? I'm, I would say that if I'm enjoying something, I don't read it quickly. I read it average pace. I'm not a fast reader. I only read something fast when I have to skim something, or just look for something really fast, maybe some quick information. I might just skim it. But I'm not a fast reader. I'm not a fast reader, and I'm not a slow reader. Just kind of a normal reader. No, we wouldn't say normal reader. Average. I'm an average reader. How often do you go to a place? So how often? Now this talks about the quantity of time. How often do you do something, right? How often do you get your hair cut? I hate my haircut. I got a haircut and I don't like it. How often do you get your haircut? Rarely, not very often. I usually do it myself. So, how often do you do something? How often do you go somewhere? So we have where, when, why, right? Where's place, when is time, and why is give me a reason. So that's the restaurant where we met for the first time. Um, I remember the day when we first met. And the words in parentheses, when, on which day, right? Or on which day. I remember the day we first met, on which day. At which, in which, that's the restaurant where we met for the first time, in which we had pizza, at which we were surprised to see they had remodeled the restaurant. At which, in which. There was a very hot summer the year when he was born. Right? So when he was born, at that time, when he was born. Tell me the reason. Tell me why you were late. The reason for which you were late. Okay, so this grammar book does try to show British English and American English grammar, and that can get confusing. Another thing that I noticed is that they use old terms like, for example, betted. We don't say betted. It's not past participle. It's not past tense. I betted him $5. No, I bet him $5 yesterday. So I have a little problem with some of the things in this grammar book. Like it doesn't explain the words in parentheses very well, and I'm guessing, right, that this is meant for students that understand English, and it's just kind of a refresher. And it's an intermediate book. This is classified as intermediate. I would say intermediate to advanced, because you would have to know that burned is old English. We don't use that term. You would find it in old words or old books words. It's an old word that you might find in an old book. So we don't say burned, bedded. We say burned, but we don't say betted. Here we have burnt and burned, right? Some people say burnt, some people say burned. Both are correct here. You can use both. I burnt the toast. I burned the toast. I use burned. I burned the toast. Did you burn the toast? I burnt the toast. I burnt the toast, right? Burned, burnt. But when we say it quickly, it's going to come out burnt. Burned, burnt. I burned the toast. Burned. I say burned. He burnt the toast. He burned the toast. Do you hear the difference? I do. I don't know if you do. Let me know. Know if you do. Okay. So that's a thing about this, is that sometimes it does British English and American English. Um, uh, gotten, right? So it does do that. Unfortunately, I don't think it does a very good job in always explaining everything. It just gives you the list and then gives you another list, and then so it doesn't go through the words. Like if you were going to learn uh, these words, you'd want them in sentences or in a story or paragraph or some sort of context. I tell my students, please, please don't just learn words. And in this case, they're just showing you all the words. If you want to know the past tense of something, that's what a dictionary is for. So, in my opinion, it's fine. I know a lot of students have these lists, but I would say read, 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 read. Okay. The other thing is that this book does have a website. And one of the videos that they have, I will show you, are quick tip videos. I'll let you watch a little bit of it. Okay, so what's wrong with this? It's a nice video if you just want to read something, but there's no pronunciation. You don't hear a person reading the sentences or saying the sentences. I don't necessarily need to be on camera to say the words for you to hear them, right? You don't need to see me say the words. I do videos where I do up close pronunciation, but it's not always necessary. It would be nicer if this video had someone reading the sentences. And I don't like AI. And I'm not saying that that's AI, but I'm not a big fan of AI. And when I hear it, I think, oh, no, it's AI. They still don't have past tense correctly. The pronunciation is not correct. It doesn't correctly mimic a native speaker. That's what I was going to say. So be careful with AI. Right now, there's a big push to learn a language through AI, and I think in the future it will be better. But at the moment, there's still a lot of mistakes. There are still a lot of mistakes that I've heard and I've seen with AI. So just be careful. So, do I like this book? Yeah, for a quick reference, um, I do. I like that I can quickly go to adverbs and say, okay, which one do I want? And it also gives you a little, keywords. Or here's what you might find. This is what you're going to see. So I like that. I like that if you needed a quick here, but there isn't any homework. There aren't any drills or tests. It's just here it is. This is what it is. So it gives you a little description. It gives you some common words like honestly, seriously, confidently, personally, surprisingly, ideally, economically, officially, obviously, clearly, surely, undoubtedly. So it gives you words, and then it gives you some examples of how to use some of the words, not all of them, just a few examples. So this is an okay book for quick reference. If you're a teacher watching this video, it's helpful for you to have it so you can quickly look up a grammar point. I, I like this book. It's probably one of the best books for a quick reference. And I would say one of the better grammar book dictionaries. So like it's like a dictionary. You can look up a grammar point like you would find a word in a dictionary. Okay, so I have some news. We're done with that. Let's stop this. Okay. You can find that book online. You can buy it. I can't give it away. It's not a book that I can give you, but you can find it if you like it. You can find it online. News. So I'm done with this series, I guess, where I'm showing you different grammar books. And it seems like you enjoy spelling and vocabulary. So I've been thinking about maybe doing spelling, vocabulary, and writing. That seems to be what everyone watches. I've looked through all of my live streams, and it seems that you enjoy the vocabulary and the writing. So I'm going to put something together where we have vocabulary and writing. So let's talk about our vocabulary words. At the end of each video, I give you some vocabulary words. And here are the words. We have shift, rely, hybrid, manual, automatic, selector, accelerator, center of gravity, and maintenance. Now, by looking at these words, what do you think the topic is going to be? So there's a topic with these words. Let me know in the comment section below what you think these vocabulary words, what topic we're going to discuss in the next live stream. Now, the other thing is I'm changing the date and time of this live stream. Normally, I was doing it at Wednesday at about 4 o'clock Central European time. But I'm having some changes. I have some changes coming up now that we're entering fall and getting closer to the fall season or autumn, the autumn season. So I'm going to change my live stream, and I'm going to do one live stream every week. So there's going to be a live stream every week, and it's going to cover vocabulary, writing, some reading, and these live streams, one will be a free one. It'll be a half an hour free live stream just to give you a little taste. And the rest will be for members only. Right now, I've been doing a free hour lesson for members only on Sundays, and that'll continue on the first Sunday of every month, not every Sunday. The first Sunday of every month, I do a live stream for my members only group. And that's what I've been doing. Now I'm going to offer one live stream on Sunday, once a month, one Sunday a month per month, and 3 classes once a week. And the 4th class will be the free one. Have I confused you yet? I hope not. So you're going to have one free one that anyone can watch, and then they're going to be 4 for the members only group, because I'd like to try to turn that into a class, a proper class where you get homework, you get personalized help, you can ask questions, you can practice your writing, and you get feedback. You'll get my email address. You can send me the assignment that I give you, and it's for members only. Now the free one, well, that's just going to be a little taste. I'm hoping you'll find some value out of it, and that you'll enjoy it. But I won't be posting any more Monday videos for a while, because I'm going to be doing these classes instead. So I'll still continue to do stories every Friday, because I think that's important. This week, I got lazy. I'm going to be honest. I was lazy. I was on vacation. And I was going to say, hey, I'm on vacation, but I forgot. I'm so sorry. But I will still, excuse me, I will still do the videos for the stories on Friday. And I'll probably do a short on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever time I do the live session. Now, the session that I do once a week might be on Wednesdays. I'm still waiting to hear from a student what their schedule is. If it's going to work, then I'll have the class on Sunday. If it doesn't work, I'll have the class on Wednesday. So right now I'm looking at having the classes on Sunday or Wednesday, preferably on a Tuesday. Sorry, preferably on a Tuesday instead of a Sunday. Sundays for me is family time, but it just depends on the student. So I'm waiting to hear from the student to see what their schedule is and what we're going to work out. So to keep posted as to when I'm doing live streams, you can go to englishfunzone.com and check out the calendar, and I'll list all of the classes there for the month. And you can also find out the times. I will also post it on the community tab once I get started. My goal is to start it, these classes in September. So you have one English class every week, right? If you're a member. If you're not a member, at least once a month, you'll get a class. And we, there's the calendar. We'll start in September. that's my goal is to start these classes in September. Now, the next members only live stream is going to be on Sunday, the 7th at 12 in the afternoon, Central European time. So if you're interested in having a Sunday lesson, it's an hour lesson. Join me on Sunday at 12 o'clock. I'll leave the link for becoming a member is in the description box below. It's a fun class. We talk about all different things. You get homework. You can review pronunciation. I have you send me your audio files so I can hear your pronunciation and correct your pronunciation when we have pronunciation lessons, or if we're doing a writing lesson, I ask you to write something and we can review that in class. So there's a lot of opportunity to participate and send me your work. I think that's important as well. Okay. So I hope you found this live stream fun, and I enjoyed being here with you. And I will let you know when the next one is in the community tab, so you can find out when that is. But again, you could go to englishfunzone.com. Thanks so much for being here today. And until next time, please keep practicing.